Get ready to grab those light guns again, because Sega recently announced that the company behind the upcoming Panzer Dragoon remake will be bringing the first two House of the Dead games to modern consoles. Yeah, that's cool and all, but I've always been partial to Laser Ghost. That was Sega's 1989 arcade hit where you shot at ghosts in order to save the girl. It's not the most original concept, but without it, you probably wouldn't have any of those House of the Dead games. So, turn back now if you don't want to know what happens next, because today we're going to spoil the story and ending for both the arcade and Master System versions of Laser Ghost. This is Game Over, the early years. Do you remember that part in Ghostbusters where all the ghouls get released into New York City and immediately start causing havoc? Well, that's also the plot of Laser Ghost. When a young girl eating an ice cream cone gets captured by a winged monster, three heroes spring into action in a quest to get her back. But just who are these Ghostbusters? Unfortunately, we're never gonna know because the game never properly introduces us to this trio. What we do know is that the city is teeming with Slimers, and apparently we have a gun that'll kill them once and for all. This allows us to walk down the street with relative confidence that nothing bad is gonna happen to us. I mean, we ain't afraid of no ghosts. But maybe we should be, because the movie theater's marquee actually comes to life and tries to kill our nameless heroes. It's called Monster the Movie, and the place is a real dump, so you probably should have seen this coming. After we murder the marquee, we chase the winged demon into a fancy hotel where we blow up the dining room before taking on this boss in the elevator. Now, I'm not entirely sure how they get there, but the next stop is the sewer, and oh man, what's wrong with that water? Look, I'm not exactly hanging out in the sewer a lot, but I'm pretty sure the water's not supposed to be bright purple. I'm also a little concerned about the color of the bay, which looks a lot more like slime to me. Man, I'm hoping that this is a ghost thing, because otherwise somebody really needs to get fired. Up next is the graveyard, or as the game likes to put it, the ghost's hangout. I suppose I understand why the living would think that, but I think the rest of the game has already demonstrated that the ghost hangout is pretty much anywhere it wants to be. But hey, it's not a horror game without a few tombstones, so here we are. And what's handy is the path through the graveyard takes us directly to the haunted mansion where the winged monster is holding the girl. We shoot our way through several floors of ghosts before discovering that the girl is alone in her room. But oh no, the girl is possessed by some sort of demon and bulks up to a Roseanne-sized monster. And if you think that's bad, wait until you see the final shape, where she suddenly has a bunch of faces and multiple legs all over her. Ugh. Thankfully, our guns do the trick, and the monster reverts back into a sweet young girl. Here is what happens next. Two years after the arcade game, Sega released Laser Ghost on the Sega Master System exclusively in Europe. Although the name is the same, the story, the levels, and even the gameplay is quite a bit different. Unlike the arcade game, this console version tells the story of a 10-year-old girl named Catherine whose soul has been captured by the Ghost City. Now that's a ghastly location filled with dark-hearted creatures who detest all things beautiful. It's now your job to help Catherine escape Demon Manor and get to Ghost City, where she'll hopefully get her soul back. Okay, so here's the deal. This game's a little hard to look at because the screen flashes every time you pull the trigger. It's annoying, so we're just gonna skip through these levels as quickly as possible. Let's just double speed this thing. Okay, so Catherine is stuck in the basement, but makes it all the way to the art room where she fights this ugly painting of Grandma. Outside, we destroy a bunch of tombstones and fight off these skeletons. Hey, does that water have a face in it? We make it to Ghost City, which has already been shot up. You'd think that somebody would go in and clean everything up in the 13-year hiatus, but apparently nobody cares about a few broken windows. Also, this car comes to life and tries to eat poor Catherine. Good news, everybody, our hero has finally made it to the hotel. The bad news is that this guy was hanged here and haunts the place. But that's okay, because the whole thing has been pushing us towards a very special room where the final showdown awaits. Catherine enters the room and discovers a bed, window, and a whole bunch of faces on the wall. We shoot at each and every one of them, and then this is what happens next. While the console ending is pretty boring, I'm a big fan of the way the arcade game wraps up. In fact, I also love the intro. For a straightforward light game where you just shoot at ghosts, the arcade version went above and beyond when it came to the cinemas. Sure, we never find out who the 3 Ghostbusters are, but I love that each of them is given a unique personality. There's so much conveyed in just a few screens, and the whole thing is surprisingly satisfying. Look, that's a lot more than I can say about the officially licensed Ghostbusters game that Sega would release 1 year later. Oof. Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Game Over, the early years. If you liked what you saw here, then you should know that we post new episodes every Monday. Now here's the question I have for you. What is your favorite Ghost game? I don't want to see anybody say StarCraft Ghost because it's too soon. In other news, we'll be back tomorrow with a review of Third Eye, followed by Valfaris on Wednesday. In the meantime, I strongly recommend you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then.